Is it time for Social Security? Well, why not have it supersized? This library of educational videos is devoted to helping you maximize all that you've got coming from your Social Security. In this lesson, we will focus on public sector employees and possible reductions in benefits due to the WEP and GPO provisions. Each year, thousands of educators, police officers, firefighters, nurses, and others who have worked in the public sector are surprised to learn that any Social Security benefits they may have earned from other employment could be reduced by a complex set of rules known as WEP and GPO. WEP stands for Windfall Elimination Provision. GPO refers to Government Pension Offset. Both are designed to potentially reduce or even eliminate Social Security benefits when a person or spouse has a pension from work that was not covered by Social Security. What makes people angry about WEP and GPO is the idea that if a person has worked in two careers, they deserve the full benefits of each, regardless of whether those benefits are in the form of a pension or Social Security. Social Security officials will tell you that in order to understand the justification for the WEP and GPO offsets, you have to look deeper into how Social Security benefits are structured. The purpose of Social Security retirement benefits is to replace a portion of a person's pre-retirement income after they retire with a benefit check earned by the payroll taxes contributed during the working years. And benefit calculations are designed specifically to replace a larger portion of the pre-retirement income by lower income earners. Conversely, these same calculations will result in replacing a smaller portion of the pre-retirement income of higher income earners. Consider the example of Barry, who spent the first 15 years of his career working in the private sector, where deductions were taken from his pay to cover Social Security taxes. He then changed employment, and for the last 20 years, he has worked in the public sector. During this period, earnings were not covered by Social Security, so no deductions were taken from his pay. Compare this to Bert's circumstances. He also worked for 35 years, and his earnings from employment were identical to Barry's. The only difference is that Bert spent his entire 35-year career in the private sector, and every paycheck that he received was net of an amount to cover Social Security taxes. Since Barry had no covered Social Security earnings for the past 20 years, on paper, it could easily appear as if he was unemployed for this period. Without the government offsets, his benefits would be calculated by adding up the 15 years of covered earnings and dividing that total by 35 years. This would give the artificial appearance that he was a very low-wage earner over his career. And remember that Social Security is designed to replace a large portion of a low earner's pre-retirement income. The calculations to determine Bert's benefits would consider all 35 years of employment with Social Security covered earnings. The result would be that for determining the Social Security retirement benefit, Bert's average covered earnings would be much higher than Barry's. And again, Social Security is designed to replace a smaller portion of a higher earner's pre-retirement income. The way Social Security looks at it is that without the benefit offsets, the combination of Barry's Social Security benefit, when added to his pension income, would represent somewhat of a windfall. There is a maximum amount of your Social Security benefit that can be lost to WEP. In 2018, that maximum was $413. Each year, this maximum increases. For example, in 2017 it was $447 and $428 in 2016. These maximums only apply when a person has 20 or fewer years of work and employment that was covered by Social Security. The reduction becomes less when there are longer periods of employment covered by Social Security. In order for a year to count in the calculations, the pay you received that year must be considered substantial earnings. The amount that meets the definition as substantial earnings typically changes each year. But to give you an idea, in 2000, you had to have earnings of at least $14,175, whereas by 2018, that amount had increased to $23,850. WEP will also reduce the amount of any spousal benefits that would otherwise be received. However, survivor benefits are not reduced. At your death, your surviving spouse's benefit will be recalculated and paid as if there was no WEP reduction. The Government Pension Offset Rules, or GPO, can also reduce Social Security benefits, but only for spouses, widows, and widowers. Under GPO, spousal and survivor benefits can be reduced by 2/3 of the pension received by employment that was not covered by Social Security. Anna spent her career as an educator. Her employment was not covered by Social Security. She now receives a monthly pension of $1,500 from this employment. Her husband Barry's entire employment history was at jobs that were covered by Social Security. And if it were not for GPO, Anna would be eligible to receive a $1,200 spousal benefit based on Barry's work record. But because of GPO, her Social Security spousal benefit will be reduced by $1,000. Again, this reduction is calculated at 2/3 of her pension. Therefore, the net amount of her spousal benefit is only $200. The Social Security Administration does not determine if your benefits are impacted by WEP or GPO until you actually file for benefits. This means that these offsets are not reflected in the benefit amounts you see on your Social Security benefits statement. So if WEP or GPO affects you or your spouse, it will be up to you to learn how your benefits will be impacted by these offsets. That's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching. See you in another lesson.